It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, wherever you're watching us across the world. I am super delighted to welcome you to another insightful, educative, and of course, mind opening real estate to talk to here on YouTube. It's been a while, I understand. Congratulations to us. God has added to the family. My wife gave birth to a baby boy last week, so that is why I've not been online. So in case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, I'm still remain your host, Adijari. Here we discuss everything you need to know about real estate investment in Lagos, Nigeria. So after watching this particular educative guide, do well to check some of our playlists. Trust me, there's a whole lot you need to know about the real estate industry here in Lagos, Nigeria, and we have made cautious efforts to do diverse topics relating to real estate investment, land documentation, property verification, how to identify land scam. We've talked extensively on how to identify a fraudulent real estate developer. I've also talked about criteria, of a professional real estate practitioner here in the beautiful city of Lagos. So after watching this particular educative guide, you can of course check, at your leisure time, check our playlist. One thing is certain, you are going to learn a whole lot. Once again, thank you very much. I'm back, so glad to be here, and I'll be back immediately after this short timeout. Don't go nowhere. How about that? All right, you're welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about the proposed international airport and why you need to be careful. So I'm going to be talking about the proposed international airport and the important need to buy only from a credible real estate developer. And today I'm going to be giving several instances, and I'm going to be giving several important information that most real estate investors may not be familiar with. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the things I believe you've seen, we all have seen the tremendous efforts made by the Lagos State government with the Chinese in order to construct the Ibeju Lekki International Airport. And according to the information we've been able to gather from, of course, verified source, Lagos State government is, in conjunction with the Chinese, are trying to make the airports as one of the biggest in Africa. And they've been concerted effort by government to make sure that this airport project starts as soon as possible, and of course they also want to try to ensure that it becomes operational. And also from the information we gather that the Lagos State government is also making efforts to have state-owned airlines, which is a very good effort, something that is very worth, it's a remarkable effort from them, having state airlines. And when you look at the reason why a lot of things have been happening in the Lagos scene, of course, we also saw what happened at the Lagos Calabar coastal road construction. And of course, I'm going to be doing an extensive video explaining what real estate investors need to know. And I will also be talking extensively on what you need to do if you have a property within that region. But that is not going to be on today's episode. Today's episode, we're going to be talking extensively on the airport, and I'm going to be talking about our discoveries and some of the history we know about some of the landed properties within this region. Now, when we talk about the newly approved international airport, at the moment it seems like nothing is happening. A lot of people are buying properties, which is very commendable and very important. But today I have outlined 5 important things that real estate investors need to do when you are buying properties within these axis. Now, a lot of people express their concern when the Lagos State government, sent a demolition notice, to Landmark Beach as at a few weeks ago. And I've received several calls from real estate investors. They want to hear my opinion, and of course possibly look at one of the things that may happen. And because of this demolition notice that were served, okay, to the landmark beach resort, a whole lot of people are beginning to be skeptical about, investing in Lagos. And you don't need to be skeptical. You just need to understand that there are some policies and things that a real estate investor needs to put into consideration before you invest in real estate. So I believe that the issue of landmark is going to be a win-win situation. I don't see that place being demolished. For those I have spoken with, it's one of the biggest resorts, and there are foreign investments there. I think what the government will do is that they will create or look a way to to maneuver the road construction and leave that project. So my honest opinion anyway is subject to your own opinion as well, and of course your own discoveries and research. We're talking about the airport. Now, the very first thing you want to do when you're buying properties, not just only in the airport, any place where you have noticed that they are big, gigantic projects, okay, you need to stay clear from untitled properties. More importantly, those that are within these areas. You need to stay clear, from untitled properties. More importantly, those that are within either the airport or any other project that we have in Lagos. One of the things you need to understand basically is that what makes an untitled properties. In one of my research and when we're doing a community due diligence, I've seen instances whereby real estate, developers have sold untitled properties in disguise, okay, of selling properties that has excision. Then after doing a due diligence, we found out that those properties were not, does not have the title. So you need to be very, very careful. And one of the things you need to do is, the way to avoid trouble is stay clear of untitled property. See, as the airport project begins to kickstart, there will be need for the government to take more lands and expand and do that project. At this point, government will not want to take anything lightly. More importantly, if that thing is going to jeopardize, the project, they are going to unapologetically take properties, and whether you have documents to back it up, in as much as fact that there is no title on it, it makes it easier for governments to do what? To take that property from you. Then the next thing you also want to do is that you want to be wary of the brand that you are buying from. You have to be wary of the brand that are buying from. Now, a lot of people are using projects, okay, and important landmarks to sell property in Lagos, Nigeria. Obviously, I know the reason why most real estate investors are buying or are investing into this project is because of the fact that all these landmarks are, obvious signs of growth and development coming to this region. And a lot of fraudulent practitioners will hide under the disguise of this landmark and sell properties that they ought not to. Now, when we're talking about be wary of the brand, now you need to understand that at this point, the real estate industry is, witnessing the advent of new real estate development companies, and sometimes it is very difficult for you to unravel the intention of the real estate development company. There have been instances of developers selling properties, and when there are important issues, they are nowhere to be found. And more importantly, as this airport project is about to kickstart, there will be a lot of unprepared land disputes and court cases. As immediately as the international airport dispute begins to kickstart, and when we are going gradually to the commencement and of course the completion of the project, a whole lot of land disputes will begin to emerge. What do I mean by that? When you are buying properties from real estate development companies and you are buying in a choiced location, when we have important landmarks like this, real estate developer, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that you should only buy from a reputable real estate development company. I'm not going to mention names, but as I begin to explain, you'll be able to deduce the kind of real estate development companies you buy from. Number one, you will need to buy from a real estate development company that is being regulated by a board of trustees and a board of what? Partners. You need to buy from a real estate development company that have resources to develop the projects. You need to buy from a real estate development company that have the financial capability to perfect title if need be. Now, because of the fact that some real estate development companies are fully aware of the opportunities, many of them are ignorant of the potential dangers that will be coming to this region. There was a scenario of a particular location in this same airport axis. If I give an exact description of this location, people will be able to deduce the place I'm talking about. Early 2020, there was a real estate company that bought that place, and they erected their signpost, and they began to make advert jingles, and they sold a lot of properties. 6 months later, I found out that in that same location, another set of real estate developer took possession of the land, and they also erected their signpost, and they started selling. Few weeks after this, few months after this, there was a large dispute of lands. In this location, it was also recorded that 9 people lost their lives over this land. And to caution, the effect of the dispute in this location, they had to. I think the other real estate development company that bought that place had to station some police officers with armor tank to restore peace and order in this same location. Today, as I'm talking to you, there is another real estate development company that is selling that land. Now, let me quickly explain to you the reality of what will happen when the airport project starts. Now, a lot of people that are selling properties today are not aware of people that have sold those places without having the legal right to do so. Now, a lot of companies are selling, and what will happen basically is that, or what transpired is that the other 2 real estate companies that lost, the possession of that land to this new developer is a case of, number one, they did not have the financial resources to fight the legal battle for that property. Number 2, they did not have the required connections. So as the projects will begin to happen, there will be a whole lot of what? News from the greedy people that sold, or the people that sold to 1 or 2 or 3 or more than 4 people, or there will be news of government taking possessions of places that the people did not follow due process in acquiring. So you don't want to buy that region from a developer that does not have connection and resources. In fact, you don't even want to buy from a developer that is not reputable. Number 3, do not buy because of price. Do not buy because it is cheap. Now, a lot of people make buying decisions based on price. And what real estate investors need to understand is that I'm not trying to insinuate, that all cheap properties are fake. No, that is not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that for a real estate development company that want to sell a property for a price, some of them, not all, would have calculated the legal cases that will happen. They would have calculated the infrastructure that they want to do. They would have calculated every other project. If it's a building materials, they're looking at all the facilities that will make that place very, very habitable. So if you are now saying that this person is expensive and you are going to a cheaper one, What is the tendency that when the person that is selling cheap, okay, have issues, he will have the resources to buy. In fact, it's not a case of penny wise, pounds foolish. It's a case of you bought because it is cheap and there's an issue and you lost it. And the people that bought because they have trust in the ability of the real estate development company to deliver are the one enjoying that land over. So it doesn't make any investment sense, okay, for you to leave brand to buy because of price. When developers set prices for their properties, there are a lot of hidden and unseen factors that they put into consideration when they are setting price. So buying properties is not the issue of price, but it's as a result of what? The value that the real estate development company is projecting. So there are important things you need to do. And these are some of the things I have outlined. And finally, there are some locations that you want to invest in Lagos that you need the service of an experienced person. When I talk about experienced person, there are some locations that you just don't put your hope on what is happening or the current state of things of that property as at that time. What do I mean by that? There are some places today that is peaceful, okay, but may result to problem in the future if the realtor or the professional that is selling that place or that is recommending that place to you fails to do. Number one, there are places that there are no obvious signs of encroachment, but when the realtor dig deeper into the land history of that place, the realtor will be able to unravel if there have been cases of multiple sales of that same properties to numerous parties or stakeholders. And this is the case of some of those properties, not only in this airport axis, but in other places of Ekpe and Ibeju Lekki. So you need to work with a realtor. Now, there are some people who don't rely on the chatting or the information the developer has gotten. Like for instance, we usually do our own due diligence and we do what we call a land chart information, where we take the survey to the town planning to find out if there will be current or future projects like a pipeline there. We will unravel if there's a pipeline there. We unravel if there's going to be a bridge there. We unravel if there's going to be a future road construction, just like the issues between Landmark and Lagos State government. So these are the things that the realtor will do, that the realtor is supposed to do before they make record. So giving property choices should not be based on the fact that numerous people are advertising it. There are some hidden things that may be happening on that property that the advertiser or the realtor may not be fully aware of. And this is why you need to prioritize an experienced person. More importantly, if you're buying land in Lagos, Nigeria. With this few points of mine, I hope I've been able to explain some of the potential, so that when you buy a property, government will not come and give you a notice of demolition or a notice of encroachment or a notice of the people that have sold to you not doing a proper documentation. And this is where I'm going to round off. Now, if you're buying a property in this place where there are notable and obvious signs of projects coming there, it is very important that you engage the service of a lawyer and a registered surveyor. Now, but if you are going through us, we have these teams of lawyers and registered surveyors in our midst, so they can take that stress off you. But if you have a realtor that you trust, that you think should handle it, ensure that your realtor gives you a detailed land registry information, a detailed town planning information, and of course, a review of the documents on the property you are asked to buy. These are one of the easiest ways that you can invest not only in the airport houses but in any places where there are important project coming, so that what has happened with landmark, okay, it will be resolved. I don't see that place being developed, but in other places, other people that may not be that landmark brand may not be as fortunate and lucky as it is. And this is why it is important that you put all these things into consideration. So as there are obvious signs of opportunities within this axis that a lot of realtors are making jingles, so there are unseen dangers and legal tussles that will be coming to this area, to this region, as the project of the international airport or every other project within the axis begins to unfold. So this is why you need to do all these things as you invest in this location. So this is where I'm going to draw today's curtain of property matters. If you have any form of inquiries, or there are things that we have said that you don't understand, you can drop a question. Our number is below the caption of this video. You can send, if you call us please and we did not pick, we may be busy, send us an email or send us a message on WhatsApp. Our team of professionals will, of course, most times I will also respond to, depending on the urgency of the case. Finally, do not buy from a developer that does not have the intention of perfecting title. In a place where the property doesn't have recognized title like C of O, PZ, and they're asking you to buy, is it that you have your plan to perfect your documents, or the developer has the intention of perfecting the documents? Now, in cases where both parties are not willing and ready to do that, it is better you leave the property, because the most painful part is that when it gets to the point where a real estate investor is supposed to reap, the reward of that investment, that's when government will show up. They may not show up today, but it's obvious. Let us say government, they will surely show up. So this is what I'm going to draw today's curtain. Until I come your way again, for any form of inquiries, any kind of real estate thing, you are free to drop your message and we'll be glad to respond to it. Bye for now. God bless you. See you in my next video.